If you have ever been in a position in your career where you have told yourself that you do not deserve to be in the position that you're in, this episode is for you. This week, I am doing a coaching session with Nokkie Lipsey, who is the Director of Operations for the Olive and Finch Collective. She's been in her position now for about 5 weeks, and she's overseeing 5 locations, working with a company that's growing. We spend a lot of time talking about how she felt like she's been climbing a mountain in her career in order to find her voice and be seen, some of the limiting beliefs and cultural things that she has had to overcome as she has risen through the ranks as a woman in hospitality, and what she has needed to let go of in order to fully embrace her superpower as being a humble leader. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Restaurant Leadership Podcast, the show where restaurant leaders learn tools, tactics, and habits from the world's greatest operators. I'm your host, Kristen Marvin, with Solutions by Kristen. I've spent the last 2 decades in the restaurant industry and now partner with restaurant owners to develop their leaders and scale their businesses through powerful one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and leadership workshops. This show is complete with episodes around coaching, leadership development, and interviews with powerful industry leaders. You can now engage with me on the show and share topics you'd like to hear about, leadership lessons you want to learn, and any feedback you have. Simply click the link at the top of the show notes and I will give you a shout out on a future episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to connecting. Running an independent restaurant is no joke. You're doing it all. Managing your team, maintaining quality, keeping things safe, and the back of the house can sometimes feel like organized chaos. That's where restaurant technology steps in. They've created a system called Total Oil Management that helps take one big job off your plate, managing cooking oil. No more lugging jugs of oil or dealing with dangerous spills. Their system does 4 things for you: delivers fresh oil automatically, removes used oil safely, no mess, no stress, helps your team stay safe and your food consistent, and even turns your used oil into biofuel, which is pretty cool. Thousands of independents across the country are already using it to cut costs, save time, and make their kitchens run smoother. If you're curious about this and want to learn more about how it could work in your space, visit go.rti-inc.com/restaurant leadership podcast. Again, that's go.rti-inc.com/restaurant leadership podcast. Nokkie, how can I make this an extraordinary conversation for you today?
I am struggling with imposter syndrome. It's something I definitely really want to get better at, and really kind of navigate how I can move past it.
Say more about imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, very often, I've been working towards a career. Every job that I've taken has been to a point where I could do something better and greater and make more impact. And, as I'm climbing this mountain, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this, or I wish I can be this person. And at one point in time, when you reach the top of the mountain, where I feel like I'm kind of at the moment, you kind of forget that you actually did all the work that you were wishing and you were hoping and you were seeing all these other people doing. And so it's, for me, like, when I'm talking to my teams and they are just in awe of me, of like, wow, look at your trajectory and your growth and all this experience, I have struggle giving that back to myself, and understanding that I actually did the work, and I all the things that I dreamt and talked about leading to where I'm at right now. I have a problem with saying, you know what, yeah, like, this is me. Like, I feel like I'm just showing up as this person that I imagined to be. And I haven't accepted that for myself yet.
So it sounds like what you're saying is you've been climbing this mountain, you feel like you're at the top, but there's something getting in the way of you being able to fully embrace it and celebrate it and give yourself the credit for it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because, I'm always on this mindset of like, what's next? What do we have to do next? What do we have to do next? It's never like that stopping moment where like, you appreciate those moments and the work that you did
Yeah.
and then actually feel good about it. I think I feel like I did a lot of work, but I don't actually like it doesn't resonate with me.
It sounds like you're really good about living in the future
hmm
and maybe not so good about living in the present.
hmm
What's coming up for you when I say that?
Um, I mean, I'm in a new position, so I'm thinking about like all the 100 things that I have in the future and like how can I show up? How can I be there for it? Versus I've done this before and I'm fully equipped and I have all this knowledge. So instead of how can I show up, being like, this is me and we're going to be great and this is how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's that transition. It's
Yeah.
this like gray area where I'm like, for me, behind the closed doors, away from my teams, I'm like, can I even do this? And am I the right person to do it? And why do
Yeah.
they have so much belief in me? Well, because I've done all this stuff already, and
Yeah.
that's where that disconnect is. I'm struggling with putting those connections together.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel that for sure. And I know that people listening can't necessarily see Noki's very animated talking with her hands, which is amazing. But you were just pulling something. You were like, I've got this, I've done this, I know how to do this. It's like you're pulling the knowledge and the information and everything that you need and all the tools and resources that you've collected along the journey climbing that mountain. And then you
Mhm.
go into this worry, and then you go into this worry mode. What's in the middle of that?
Oh, I want to say it's that self sabotage mindset. It's my limiting beliefs. It's
Mm.
my inner mental blocks. Like it's me trying to. It's sometimes it's assumptions, of what other people are thinking of how I'm leading. And yeah, I think it's a lot of like this middle interceptor of my energy.
If you are feeling the pressure of rising costs and staffing shortages or supply chain chaos, you are not alone. The truth is, the economic forecast may be shifting, but your restaurant still needs to keep moving forward. That's why I'm headed to the 2025 National Restaurant Association show happening May 17th through the 20th in Chicago. This show is built for operators like you, offering real solutions for real challenges, from cost-saving equipment to strategies for navigating today's tough labor market. Plus, you'll get access to cutting-edge technology, menu innovation, and expert-led sessions that'll help you stay resilient no matter what the market throws your way. And I'll be there, and I'd love to see you too. Here's a bonus for you too. Use my promo code Kristen25 at checkout and get $25 off your Expo Show badge. All you have to do is go to nationalrestaurantshow.com to register and grab your ticket. Don't wait though, because this offer expires May 9th. The 2025 show is where the future of food service comes to life. Don't miss it, and I hope to see you there. What limiting beliefs are you saying to yourself?
Mm, I you know I think it's trauma. It's like childhood trauma. It's growing up in a very traditional Asian environment and home where praise is not something that's often given, and like when you're achieving things, you're not really being recognized for it. It's like, oh, you did this, but you could have done better. Like it's always like, oh, you were able to do this performance, but there was some nitpicking in the side. So there's a lot of like, I'm again a perfectionist. I think it's that mindset of like I can always do better and be better because I've never been acknowledged for doing just enough.
Yeah.
And so my
How
limiting belief is like I'm just not doing enough because I can do more.
how has that cultural upbringing of this constant drive to do better and make it better and do it again next time, how has that helped you be successful in your career?
I would say, I mean, it gives me a drive for sure, where it's, I don't look at obstacles as obstacles. It's like I'll figure out if there's an obstacle, I'll figure out a way to go over, under, through it, because I have to, because, at the end, I just have to be better. So like, it doesn't matter what gets thrown in the way for me, I will figure out a way. So I guess it helps me pivot a lot easier and faster when things happen, especially in our industry when things are constantly changing. Um, yeah, I think it's just that like constant natural drive of like pushing yourself
Yeah.
harder every day.
When you think about these obstacles, going over them, going around them, going on above them, beyond them, whatever it is, and you think about you pivoting, is there an image or metaphor that comes up for you?
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, I am like water. I really am. I will go with the flow and I won't force it. Water will always figure out a way to navigate around the obstacles, whether it's through the smallest crack or going over a giant boulder. But I really am all about flowing and not forcing. So when I'm pivoting, I always tell people that the way I look at it is just how water just naturally finds its way to where it needs to be.
Yeah. And sometimes the water's crystal clear and sometimes it's a little muddy, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
either way, it's still moving as long as there's like an opportunity for it to move. So like
Yeah.
it can be stagnant at some time. And then of course maybe the challenge of a stagnant water is finding what's blocking it and moving it out of the way so you can continue to move forward. Um, and so yeah, I would say my metaphor for that is definitely like just being like water.
Yeah. How are you like water right now? What's the water doing?
The water right now is I feel like I'm a steady stream right now. Nothing's too chaotic. It's really honestly peaceful and it's like a good kind of flow. And I feel like I'm definitely flowing towards an ocean just because there's some crazy stuff coming up in the pathways of just getting locations open, being in a new space with a new team, wanting to show up for my team and really kind of showing them a different way to be seen, heard, and appreciated. So I feel like I'm in a good stream right now, but up ahead, I know there's a huge ocean that has like a lot of huge waves coming in, and I just need to prepare for that.
Yeah. Ride the waves, right?
Yeah, yeah,
As they come up. Love it.
they're on the way. I can see them.
What does it feel like for you right now?
In terms of like riding the wave, or
In terms of kind of emotionally and physically where you are right now with the water, with
yeah,
being kind of in flow.
yeah. I mean, emotionally, I feel I feel a little bit of pressure. Again, that pressure that I'm always putting on myself. But I'm not, I'm honestly not a very emotional person. I love very big. I tell people I have a huge capacity to give and love others, and it's always in a positive environment. So emotionally, I'm always like very positive, very uplifting, and very, not often am I ever really feeling like down. And if I do feel down, it's more of like the stress of like my expectations for myself, and
Mm.
never really anything outwardly. Because I mean, again, in the industry, you have to have thick skin, so a lot of things I don't take personally. It's more of my own personal attacks that's hurting me more than anything else. Um, and physically, I am very big on being very healthy and staying in shape. And so, I'm at the gym 5 days a week to give myself. I always tell people you have to pour back into yourself. We are always giving and pouring into others all day, every day. I pour into 5 different locations with full teams. And so, for me to be able to not feel drained and physically just exhausted and emotionally and mentally exhausted, the gym has been kind of like my relief of like a time that I can give back to myself, put back into me when it comes to physical, mental, and emotional state. It's for me to work on my own strengths and
Yeah.
build my own strengths is kind of that place for me is the gym. So I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to making that space for myself so I can pour back into myself.
It sounds like you, because you've got 5 teams, 5 locations that you're leading, and soon to be more,
Mm-hmm.
you are feeding 5 little streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are all kind of flowing in their own direction and doing their
Mm-hmm.
own things and have their own obstacles.
Yeah.
And those are going to continue to split and grow.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you're doing a really awesome job of nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself first. So your water's super crystal clear. So you're pouring good energy and good nutrients and good water into those streams.
I am trying my very best.
Yeah.
This is what I say. And again, that's where I go back to, you said that to me, right? You're like, you're doing it, you're pouring it in. And of course, my natural response was, I'm trying, not doing, right? Like, it's like that. It's that, like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Like, I am doing this and it is great and it's so amazing. And here I am just reflecting again to what you just said is like, oh yeah, well, I'm trying to do it as best as
Yeah.
I can for
You're
everybody.
just like kicking it, right? You're like reflecting it back off to me, like a ball bouncing off you. Like, nope, here you go.
And
Well,
this is my back and forth that I deal
yeah,
with all the time.
totally. It's like a ping pong. We're playing
Yeah.
ping pong now. What would it feel like for you to just sit with that for a second? Accept you are doing this. You have earned this.
You know, I don't know. Like, I think guilt is the wrong word because I've, not deserving, I think is like what pops in my head. And I'm not sure why that like just sits with me of like not deserving. Maybe it's just past people who didn't believe in me, or people who told me that I couldn't do it. So I think that has a lot to do with why I struggle with receiving those compliments. I very often just like kick it right back, no, 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 it's not really that much or that big of a deal, or, I'm never able to accept it. And if I do, it's like a thank you, but, it's just what I do. Like, it's never like you said, that moment where I'm fully accepting it and appreciating it.
You just leaned back a second
Yeah.
when you said like just fully accepting it, giving yourself that space to accept it.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
Again, like awkward, not deserving. Like, before I sat with you, I'm like, who in the world would want to spend some time to talk to me about the things that I'm doing? Because again, like, I'm just so into the grind and the next project and the next step that it's like, does it really matter to really stop and smell the roses? When I walk by them all the time, and for me it's just it's like, why does it matter? Because again, I'm always just forward thinking, and yeah, like you saying all of that and people saying it to me, it always feels awkward for me. I front facing, I'll always smile and thank people, but like leaving it makes me feel like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. We're taking a quick break to offer you an exciting opportunity. If you're a restaurant owner or manager looking to enhance your leadership skills, I invite you to join my 12-day leadership challenge. In just 12 days, you'll receive a guided packet with actionable strategies to transform your leadership in less than 5 minutes a day. Join the challenge and the community and grab your copy at kristenmarvin.com/12 days. Now let's get back to the show. What would you say to one of your GMs if they were having the same limiting belief that they were not deserving and they were questioning why it matters to stop and celebrate their achievements and celebrate the work that they've done?
Yeah, I tell them that it's important for them to take the time to reflect on the work that they've done, because the things that they do, it got done because they did it, and it was great because they did it, and it was because of who they are, that really made it a big thing. I tell people in my teams all the time, celebrate your wins, the smallest ones. I don't care about the big ones because everybody will always celebrate the big ones, but the small wins, you got your checklist up to date today. Great job. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you and your attention to detail and the time that you took out to get this done. So I see you, I appreciate you, and you were just crushing it. Like, I'm so good at pouring back into others. But then and I think I've been so programmed to the point where I've always poured back into others, and I didn't have circles that I was getting poured back into, circles of people that were pouring back into me. So then I was doing that myself. And so I guess when others started to do it and my circle started to attract people who wanted to pour back into me, I felt very like, why? Like, I've always done this. Like, I don't need you to do this. I can do it. Again, it's that stepping back and letting those who want to pour into me and giving them space to pour into me and for me to accept it. Because I'm just that person. I'm like, I will constantly pour into people because I believe in everybody. I believe in the best. I believe that, there is greatness in everyone. They just need somebody that cares enough to say, hey, like, I see it in you, and I want to be here to help you navigate through that.
Yeah.
And again, my upbringing, I didn't have parents that were pouring back into me. So it was like, I needed to pour back into myself. The people that I wanted to pour into me weren't doing it. So at one point in time, I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Like, I got me. I'll figure it out. And I mean, I have my husband, which is great, and my daughter, who are always pouring back into me every day. And I think that's another, but they've seen my struggle and they've been through my process. And so for me, I think it's easier for me to accept that because they've seen every good and bad, especially the most worst parts of my journey, and have always tried to pick me back up. But for when it's coming from other people who haven't seen that journey, for me, it just is like, I can't really feel very genuine and received on the other end because there's so much
Yeah.
more about what I actually had to go through that I don't think people can understand, and I think that's where I struggle with that outside feedback because the outside feedback is only coming from people who only see things from what I'm showing in my outside life and what I'm allowing people to see.
Yeah.
So of course, everything that I'm putting out is always super positive and great. And so everyone's like, oh, you're so, yeah, thank you. That's what I'm giving you. That's what I'm like putting out there for everybody.
Yeah.
So I
It's
think,
no wonder you're in a leadership role. You've been able to take your upbringing and identify what you weren't getting and then build a whole life and career around making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are giving it to you, even though you're not necessarily accepting it all the time, but also being able to serve other people and provide what you didn't get to them every single day in the hospitality business.
it's very important for me. I tell people this is being able to pour back into others. And again, I'll repeat it. My capacity to give and to love is like, infinite. I feel like, because again, growing up, I really, like you said, I really wanted to feel these things and I really wanted to be seen and heard, not, at a very young age. And I had a daughter when I was 18 and I was like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I pour into her every single day because I don't ever want her to feel those moments where she didn't feel like after doing an orchestra concert that after all of those hours of practicing and being on stage that it wasn't good enough or it could have been better, or, oh, you missed a note, or you're not sitting in the first chair. At the end of the day, you're on that stage and you're performing with your teams. Like, I'm so proud of you. It doesn't matter what chair you're sitting in. It doesn't matter if you missed a step. It doesn't matter if you might have fumbled in the middle of a song. Like, I wanted always for her to feel like no matter what she did, any effort that was done should be celebrated, no matter how small it was.
What's on the other side of the limiting belief that you're telling yourself that you do not deserve to be where you are?
The other side of that, like the positive side, it's the it's honestly my work. It's seeing everything that I've been able to do, and it's also the people that I've impacted and touched. I am very often reminded by the people that I've crossed paths with, of the impact that I make. So outside of that, like on the opposite side of that, I have it in bounds where, people are constantly reaching out and wanting to have coffee or sharing their stories with me, or something that I said in the past that still sticks with them every day. Like that for me is, yeah, the opposite side of me saying I don't deserve it. And it's the people saying, hey, the one thing you said in pre-shift 10 years ago still resonates with me today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like, okay, yeah, no, this is, yeah, I'm glad. Like, that's why I did it. It was to, in hopes that the things that I was sharing, and the space that I was giving was something that you can use for life, and not just for the time that we spent in whatever organization we were in.
Yeah. What if you let go of that limiting belief, how would that impact your life and your performance?
I mean, I would be unstoppable, right? Like, I would just be crushing it. I think I think if I didn't have that self-doubt, I would take more risk. I would be more bold, I would just, I'd go shout it to the world and be like, "Hey,
What would
this
you
is who
shout to
I
the
am."
world? Yeah, yeah, what would you
Yeah,
shout?
this is who I am. This is what I do. Like, I'm a person who overloves and is too caring, and and those are all good things, and those are all things that people need, and you know, and here it is in this package.
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, like that too. Like, take it or leave it. Like, take me for who I am. I was always told that I was too nice and I cared too much and I needed to be more stern, and I needed to be more direct. And I was like, no, like that's not who I am. And then I had to code switch, and I had to try to navigate those types of leaderships because I was being told not to lead that way. And then I realized that, like, that wasn't working. Like, the way that you're trying to tell me to be does not work. It doesn't sit with people. It really, you're leading with fear and ego, and I'm just not about that. And so, like, as I've been navigating my leadership career, I want to again be my highest and best, but my most authentic self.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, yeah, like I'm in
Comfortable in your
this
own skin. Yeah.
era again, from that transition of like doing all the work to being the work, right? Like, I
Mm.
did all the work, and I've gone through the trenches, and I've fought all the battles, and now here I am. There is no war. There is more of like this path of just building and growth and leadership and positivity, right? So we go from like this section here where it's like boots on the ground, hustle hard, keep your head down, to now pouring into others and coaching and developing, and this space that I'm in right now, I'm super excited about. And I love what I do. I love the connections that I'm making with my teams. I love watching somebody's face light up when I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw that you organized the closet and it is amazing. A staff member who normally doesn't dress up, and put herself together in his uniform shows up to work one day with her makeup done and her hair. And the first thing I did when I walked in was like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful today. Those moments mean so much to me, and I want to continue doing that. And when I leave work, I sit there and I'm having conversations with my husband, and I'm like, I wish I could be this. And he was like, well, you are.
You
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 are this
are
person.
helping. You are, and you are helping recognize and appreciate the people around you and empower them to take charge and make an impact is with something as small as organizing something,
Hmm.
right, on the team, and then celebrating their achievements. And the result is they're showing up proud to work with you and for the company that you work with
Hmm.
every single day.
It's been
That's
great.
that's incredible. That's
It's
incredible. What What comes up for you when I say that?
It's a proud moment. You know, I've been trying to reflect more about my wins. I tell my team all the time, all of your little wins, you know. So like as of recently, and when I say recently, I'm only talking like maybe a week or two, where I am like, oh my gosh, I had such a great meeting today and it really resonated. And I try to be in that moment and celebrate that moment for myself. And again, my husband's been the greatest supporter and number one fan because I'll call him and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I had this meeting. I was concerned, and but it ended up this way." And you know, they really felt like appreciated. And his you know, the first thing he'll always say is, "Great job." Not surprised because it's you. And
Yeah.
then it's like me kicking back and I'm like, "Oh yeah. Yeah, it is me." But still, wasn't that great?
You just took 2 seconds to celebrate it and go,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's great. Accept it. And then you just jump right back into
so
it.
maybe I
Yep.
need to
Jump
extend
back
that
into that doubt.
celebration time, right?
Well,
Like I need to
sure. But what do you need to let go of in order to do that?
I don't know. I think it's that kind of maybe I need to take off the horse blinders because it's always that like straight focus
Mm.
vision. And maybe if I took those off and not put the pressure on myself that I have to keep pushing and not taking a break, you know, it's that hustle mentality where I feel like a hustle mentality is great for entrepreneurs, it's great for business owners, it's great for leaders, but very often you're not giving yourself that time to just stop, reflect, appreciate, enjoy. You're going to think this is crazy, but since I started my transition from one job to the next, we never celebrated. We never took that moment to go out and have dinner.
That's not crazy. That's what you do. You've just spent 26 minutes communicating that you don't take time to celebrate.
Yeah, like we never really it was just like, "Hey, I'm leaving one, starting the next." They were very open of like, "Hey, like give us a start date." I gave myself 2 days. I gave myself a weekend from one job to the next.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Those 2 days are going to be fine. It's great. I'm so excited for this new opportunity." And that was what was driving that short-term break was like, "I'm so excited to go do more work."
Yeah.
And I think it's that time where I need to again pause for a second and be like, "Wow, look at the opportunity I'm about to have and how exciting is this?" And let's go and you know, celebrate what it took to get here.
What did it take?
So much. Lots of long hours and doing everyone's job and not being seen. And it took a lot of trying to code switch and adapt so I can be in the rooms. You know, it took being a yes person and never saying no just so I can be seen, only to find out that I still wasn't seen. It took a lot of, you know, you can't do this, and a lot of, you know, you're not ready for this.
Hey there, podcast friends. I hope you're enjoying these impactful conversations and leadership insights I'm bringing you each week. Before we dive back into today's episode, I want to take a moment and reach out and ask a small favor that would go a long way in supporting the show. If you've been loving the content I'm providing, please take a moment to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Not only does it make my day, but it also plays a pivotal role in helping the show grow. Your reviews boost my visibility, attract new listeners, and encourage exciting guests to join me on the mic. So, if you want to be part of my show's growth journey, hit that review button and let me know what you think. Thanks a million for being awesome listeners. Where are you at today?
Very empowered. I'm again, like I joined a team that was like, "Oh my gosh, we brought in a leader who ran Michelin and James Beard Concepts," and everybody's like, "Wow, this is so great." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm just normal Nokkie. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be great." So it's stepping into this new space of again, my teams are not used to being praised. Neither am I. So I think me getting the space and the autonomy to do what I do best where I'm at is very new for me. I'm not used to having a, my leadership team believe in me so much and like pour into me, and we're like, you know what, like you have great ideas, go for it. So I'm feeling very much like my leaders are feeling with me showing up in their spaces of being, you got this, you're a crusher. And I too am on the other side of it with my leadership or with my executive teams, and they're like, Nokkie, these are all great ideas, go for it. And I'm sitting here like, are you sure? Like, do you need me to do, like, do you need a proposal? Do I need to like budget this out for you? And they're like, no, no, no. Like, we're pretty sure you've already like done your due diligence. You're good. Go crush it. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I think on the other side of it, I feel very much like my teams of getting having a space and people that are actually truly believing in who you are as your authentic self, and allowing you to do your job and be your highest and best in a space that is very safe and supportive and empowering. I just don't let my team see it, right?
Yeah. What's it going to feel like? Well, let me ask this. What's waiting for you when you get to the ocean?
You know, I'm hoping when I get to the ocean, what's waiting for me? I'm hoping that I can actually find the courage to step out on my own and have my own business eventually. Like I've always talked about that. Like I've always said, you know, and I started in the kitchen. My passion is in the kitchen. I wanted to be a chef. I was told that I couldn't be a chef because I'm too bubbly and I'm very small and that kind of personality doesn't exist in there. But I would love to, and again, my journey has pivoted in so many ways, but like at the end, I would love to be able to have my own business in a sense of like where I can still impact others. I really want to teach leadership on and leadership in terms of like emotional intelligence
Yeah.
and more thoughtful leadership. I feel like leadership is taught when managers get onboarded and there's an MIT training, we teach systems, SOPs, financial literacy, but we don't have a coaching element. To teach our managers how to coach and lead their teams. We are not teaching them about empathy. We are not teaching them emotional intelligence. We are not teaching leaders how to lead, but we're giving them all the tools to run operations. Like we're giving them everything that they need to check their labor, read a P&L report.
Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
Right. So
It
like here
sounds
we are.
ludicrous.
We're giving you all these things, go run a restaurant, but we're not teaching you how to build teams. We're not teaching you how to build a bench. We're not teaching you how to show up for your teams and how important your presence and is to an environment. And I think that's what I want to do. Like I want to go in and I want to teach people that that the power of leadership and the power of presence can really make and break your businesses. And you know, in a business where it is led by people, it is so important to show up for your people. And how do you do it while still staying very business focused and operations focused and
Yeah.
financial focused, but
Yeah.
making this idea of empathy leadership the top priority.
Yeah. I mean, I've got this just beautiful visualization of you making it to the beach. You've just gotten out of the water. You know that everything is calm. Your teams are all set up behind you, and you start walking down the beach to find your next journey.
Yeah.
They say we're the best at teaching what we still need to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence, the celebration, the leadership component. And you're doing an incredible job of leading by example already, and your team is really responding to that. I think for my 2 cents, for what it's worth, that you are such an incredible, humble leader, and that's your superpower.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's honestly, that's what I want to do. I want that's how I want to be seen. When I show up in these spaces, that's really how I want to be seen. I want to be a selfless leader. And I want to be able to, you know, when the DO walks into an establishment, I don't want tension. You know, I don't want this like, oh crap, the DO's here. Did we put our Sandy buckets away? I don't want that. Like, I want it to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I can't wait to hear what's going on. Like, I can't wait to have a conversation and share what I did this weekend with her. Like, I want to fill people in a more uplifting and spiritual way. Yeah, because it's important.
Sounds like you are exactly where you need to be right now. You said it at the beginning, you're at the
Yeah.
top of the mountain. You've spent
Yeah.
all these years hearing the no's, hearing the what you can't and can't do. You've been
Mhm.
climbing the mountain and now you're at the top.
Yeah. And I have to be
Congrat-
okay. Like, yeah, thank you. I have to like
Congratulations. Yeah.
be excited about it, right? Like, I gotta be like, wow, like, look at the view from up here.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, I have not taken a look at the view up here.
Yeah. Take those blinders off, right?
Right. Because I'm like, oh, look at that peak over there. It's a little higher. Let me see if I can get over there.
100%.
Yeah.
Nokkie, you are incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I resonate so much with so many things that you've said. It's so exciting to see, we've just connected recently. And last time we were together, we were speaking in front of 200 people, which was terrifying.
Yes.
And now to, check in 6 weeks later or a couple weeks later, however long it's been, I'm terrible with time, and just see the path that you're on and the empowerment that you have around you and the support is just magical. So congratulations. You're a total badass. And we're so lucky to have you in the industry.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to sit with that.
Okay, good, good. I love it. I love it. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Please share this episode with anyone that you know that could benefit, and we will talk to you all next week. Thanks so much.